If your parents cross these 11 lines, it might be time to lay down some boundaries, or even go no contact for a while. Cutting contact with a parent is a huge decision. It's not like unfollowing an ex or blocking that one coworker who overshares. It's serious, it's painful, and for most, it's the last resort. But sometimes taking space is the only way to protect your peace. If your parents are crossing these lines, it might be time to take a step back. They won't stop giving unsolicited advice. It's one thing to offer guidance, but it's another altogether to turn every conversation into a TED Talk on how you're living your life wrong. You're an adult with your own choices, and if they can't respect that, you might need a break from their ongoing lecture series. They don't respect your privacy. If they treat your boundaries like a suggestion instead of a requirement and are, say, constantly calling or showing up unannounced or snooping through your things, you're entitled to take some space. Privacy isn't optional just because they changed your diapers once. They resort to name-calling in arguments. Healthy disagreements are normal, but if every fight turns into an insult battle where they hit below the belt, that's not tough love. It's emotional abuse. Parents need to take accountability and engage in honest, open conversation, even when there's a disagreement, and you're not required to tolerate otherwise if it hurts you. They cross physical boundaries. Now this one's just not up for debate. If a parent gets physical in an argument, hard no. No amount of family ties justifies staying in a situation that feels unsafe. They constantly criticize your partner or another relationship in your life. Sure, your parents might worry about you dating someone shady, but if they worry about everyone you bring into your life, it should raise some red flags. You deserve respect and support when making your own independent decisions as an adult. And if their criticisms feel more like control than concern, might be time to set some serious limits. They remind you that love is conditional. Love is not a rewards program where you earn points for behaving the way they want. The parent-child relationship isn't a business transaction. Parents are called to love their kids unconditionally, even when they're struggling or making a bad choice. Manipulating them into thinking they owe their parents something is not appropriate. They judge you for expressing different opinions. This is a big one nowadays. Adult children who feel judged or criticized by their parents are much less likely to confide in them and express vulnerability in conversations. Parents who put their own beliefs and values on a pedestal while disregarding their adult kids not only create unnecessary conflict, but they make it really hard to trust them, and it might be time to take some space for a while. They dismiss your childhood trauma. This is another big one nowadays. No one's saying parents have to be perfect or go back in time and undo the things they did. But if you try to talk about past pain and they shut you down with "that never happened," or "you're too sensitive," or the perennial favorite, "I did the best I could," that's a problem. Accountability and healing go hand in hand. And when any person in any relationship refuses to listen and take accountability, it gives that relationship nowhere to go. And you might need to take some space until they're ready to have those hard conversations. They try to parent your kids. Grandparents are great, the best even, until they start steamrolling your parenting choices. They already had their opportunity to parent, and this time that's your role. If they're ignoring your rules, undermining your authority, or bribing your kids to side with them, it's time for a serious talk, or maybe even some serious distance. They try to fix all your problems. Support is great, but helicopter parenting you into adulthood is the pits. If every mistake you make turns into a "here, let me fix it" moment, they're not letting you grow. Independence is not rejection, it's a right and a need. They enable unhealthy habits. Everyone wants their parents to be in their corner, but just like a lack of support can be incredibly damaging, so can too much. If parents encourage toxic behaviors, pressure you into old patterns, or manipulate you with money and guilt, that's not love, it's control. And depending on the situation, it could even be dangerous. So walking away might be the only healthy move in that situation. Now, it's important to note that going no contact does not have to last forever, and in fact, research shows that 81% of people who become estranged from their mothers eventually reconcile and reunite. Sometimes the best thing you can do for your relationship is take a temporary break rather than allow problems to pile up and get even worse. Going no contact isn't about punishment, or at least it shouldn't be. It's actually about protection. Protection of your peace, your mental health, your ability to thrive, but also, just as importantly, protection of the relationship itself so that it can have a chance to be repaired down the road.